Yeah, there was a, I mean, like I said, there was a time in my career where I had, it was before I went to full generalist, where it was like I could go the technical director route and dive fully in, and I just
Hmm.
didn't like coding. I just didn't, that was part of one of the motivators for me. I was like, well, I'm not going to make a very good TD if I don't like to do Mel or Python very much. And again, with the whole reinvigorating thing, like using blueprints and stuff inside the engine is like, because I know how to craft a script. I know what I want to do. I can read the language. I always tell people, I can read scripts and stuff. It's a lot.
Hmm.
That's what I would say to people that are intimidated by that side of the work, and learn how to read what the script is trying to do. Don't bother with syntax, like, because that's me. I'm just like, there's 100 different types of code. They all have their own syntax, and that's what trips me up.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the visual scripting is great, because that, for me, it's like, I know what I'm trying to do. Just give me some nodes to do it.
I actually learnt to code from Mel, oddly enough, but like I hate Mel, but I think in a lot of ways, like learning something like that, it makes it a lot easier later to be like, okay, cool, like there's this easy stuff over here. And Python, personally, I think for anyone who wanted to learn, like Python's a good one to start with, just because it's pretty
Yeah.
clean and simple. It's not overkill. Whereas like C++, other languages, which I'm not like, I wouldn't even say I know that these days, but it's, that's where it's just like, holy, I mean, if you look at technically, Python is actually a wrapper for C++, and C++ is a wrapper for assembly. So you've kind of got this like hierarchy of languages just trying to simplify,
Yeah,
simplify.
exactly.
But the visual side of things is where it's even easier.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Like these days, you don't need to code to still have conditional statements. Like you look at any particle network, with the exception of Maya, because Maya's still stuck in 2003, but
Yeah.
Houdini, Max, whatever the hell, Blender, you can start to see like, I get this, I can plug it in here and say, if the sphere is 10 units big, then or bigger, then do this or that. And once you start to understand some of these like really basic concepts, then you can pretty much do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
like just to touch on blueprints, like where do you see the power of blueprints, and like if you could kind of explain a bit of the constraints that you have working within them, because obviously writing C++ plugins for Unreal, you can do a lot more, but blueprints are a safe bet for a lot of people. Even if it is like just getting Datasmith to be able to import an object, strip out all the crap, and then just like clean up a mesh or something, like there's simple processes you can put together very easily with recipes to do a lot.
Like, I am but one wing of a trifecta of this real-time department, and my compatriot on the other side is an old school visual effects guy, and he's amazing, and I'm so happy to have him. But like, yeah, he wouldn't ever put himself on the box. He's like, like he'll pick it up every now and again, but it works out well. We're like, 3 of the 4 Golden Girls, I guess, but and I'm definitely the Blanche. But no, like blueprints, yeah, super powerful. And that's the thing, is it's funny because I'm trying to craft a blueprints class right now, and I'm like, how do I hone this down to just one like 4-week course, right? Because it's such a huge thing. It's like you mentioned plugins. It's like you don't need to craft a plugin necessarily, because you can do it all in blueprints, right? And like crafting a plugin is just kind of wrapping everything up into one nice little nested place, but it is super powerful. And then, and I'm still learning to utilize it to its fullest, right? But there's more to do inside of blueprints or with blueprints than I feel like you could offer a visual effects pipeline necessarily. Like, and that is to say, to hark back on what we were talking about earlier, like the possibilities are a little bit, more expanded. There's like a lot of the stuff that you could do with AR. For instance, we're doing a lot of AR work with Fox Sports right now, and almost all of that stuff is blueprinted out. Like all of the actions and stuff, and all the live action, broadcast design stuff is very, very cool. And there's other programs out there like Reality Engine and Pixitope and things like that that tie into. They're sort of a carbon copy of the Unreal Engine, and they have sort of their own plugins and blueprints preloaded as part of that engine, and they will allow you to set up things like triggers to trigger live on-screen graphics or animations, and all the weather channel stuff, all of the Fox Sports stuff, All of that is determined, you know, and they basically they run it like a board operator runs lights on set, right? So that you have a board set up where you're triggering different animations. And for instance, we do the NASCAR work for Fox Sports, and so when they're talking about like 15 drivers, they can just hit couple of buttons and all those 15 drivers come up, and then the broadcaster can walk around and give information, and so it's a live interactive thing and stuff like that. So it's you know, like I was saying, we're moving away from that visual effects workflow, because of this stuff is like it caters to live events. And so anything you can do inside of a game, most of the games are built off of blueprints or some, you know, Unity's version of blueprints. And all of that stuff, when you start to apply that to either visual effects or a live broadcast sort of thing, like the possibilities are endless. It's super powerful. And you know, the fact that you can also like because the foundation for characters is blueprints as well, and that's one of the things that I'm hoping to try to start, you know, pushing things into. And you're starting to see a little bit of it now, is people taking that next step, you know, of the ICV effects. That it's not just backgrounds, right? We're starting to see creatures making their way onto LED walls, and you know, like that's one of the things that I'm loving to try to start testing out and setting up is a live action person in an XN suit or something like that, driving an animated creature that's maybe not bipedal, maybe completely different. Like their motions are not one-to-one with the creature that's on the screen, but it does translate somehow, you know, and you can have foreground talent interacting with a CG creature on the LED wall, on the LED volume and things as a midground or background talent and things like that. So that type of stuff, you know, is where I'm trying to push into now, and trying to set that type of work up, and you know, and just trying to innovate and trying to, you know, like take that next step. It's like, okay, cool, we've mastered, you know, dirt and sand and different environments, and sometimes trees inside of LED walls. Like now where can we push it? Now, you know, what's next?
That's super exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing where all that goes.